Virgo, your phone is going to ring, or a message is going to arrive, or a voice is going to find its way to you through whatever channel it finds available. Because what I am feeling tonight is not the energy of something that is still deciding whether to reach out. It is the energy of something that has already decided. That crossed that particular threshold quietly, without announcement, somewhere in the recent hours or days, and is now simply waiting for the moment that feels right. The courage that was missing before has been found. The words that would not come have finally assembled themselves into something that can be spoken. And what is coming toward you through that call, through that message, through that voice is not what you are expecting. You may be expecting an apology, and an apology may indeed be part of it, may be the opening, the door through which everything else enters. But if you stand at the threshold waiting only for the apology, you may miss the larger thing that is walking in behind it. Because this communication, whenever it arrives, in whatever form it takes, is carrying more than one thing. It is carrying a confession nested inside a regret, a revelation tucked inside an admission, something that was held back for reasons that made sense to them at the time and make considerably less sense to them now in the changed landscape of wherever they have arrived internally since the last time you spoke. Let me speak about what changed in them, because I feel it clearly, and I think understanding it will matter when the call comes, will help you receive what is being offered without the distortion of old hurt or old expectation coloring what is actually being said. Something happened. Not necessarily a dramatic external event, though for some of you it may have been exactly that. For others, it was quieter than that. An accumulation, the slow, relentless, eventually undeniable weight of absence, your specific absence, the absence of what you brought to their life, pressing down on a daily existence that had convinced itself it could manage without you, and found over time that managing is not the same as living, that the version of their days that did not contain you was functional, organized, predictable, and profoundly, irremediably less than what it was before. There is a particular kind of clarity that arrives only in absence. Presence obscures certain things, makes them ordinary, makes them background, makes them the unremarkable furniture of a life that the eye moves past without registering. But absence genuine, sustained, the kind that goes on long enough that the hope of it resolving itself fades and something more honest takes its place, absence illuminates, shows the exact shape of what is missing, shows it with a precision and a completeness that all the time spent in presence somehow never produced. And what this person has been seeing in the illuminating dark of your absence is the specific and irreplaceable shape of you. Not an idealized version, not the softened, nostalgically improved portrait that grief sometimes substitutes for the real thing. The actual you, the full, complex, sometimes difficult, entirely extraordinary reality of who you are and what it feels like to be in genuine contact with that. They have been living with the absence of that contact, And what they have been discovering day by day in ways they may have resisted acknowledging for longer than was honest is that the absence is not something they are capable of simply accepting and moving past. Soft sigh. It stays. It does not diminish the way they were told it would, the way they perhaps told themselves it would if they simply gave it enough time. It stays, and in staying, it grows more rather than less, specific, more precisely shaped to the exact contours of what you are, more insistently present in the quiet moments, more impossible to dissolve by any of the ordinary strategies people employ when they are trying to stop feeling something they have decided they should no longer feel. They have decided to stop trying to stop. That is the change. That is the internal crossing that produces the external, reaching the call, the message, the voice, finding its way to you through whatever channel is available. The exhaustion of fighting something real. The recognition that what they carry about you is not a temporary state to be resolved through time and discipline, but a truth about themselves, about what matters to them, about what they want, about who they are in the specific and irreducible sense of what they cannot choose not to be, that deserves, finally, to be honored rather than managed. Now, I want to speak about the unexpected part, because the apology, when it comes, will be real, will carry the weight of genuine regret rather than the lighter weight of social obligation, and it will matter. But what matters more, and what I want you to be fully present for when it arrives, is what comes after the apology, or inside it, or alongside it, dressed so quietly that it would be easy to miss if you were not paying the specific kind of attention this moment requires. There is something they want to tell you that they have never told you. Not in those words, not in that form, not with the full directness and full vulnerability that the telling requires. There may have been versions of it, approximations, hints, moments where it almost surfaced and then retreated before it could be clearly named. But the complete thing, the actual, unabridged, no longer withholding truth of a specific feeling or a specific realization or a specific decision that they have arrived at has not yet been placed in your hands. And the call that is coming may be the moment they finally place it there. I want to prepare you for how that might feel. Because receiving something unexpected from someone whose actions have previously given you reason for hurt is one of the more complex emotional experiences available, not clean, not simple, not the uncomplicated joy that the arrival of something wanted might produce in a less complicated context. There may be a part of you that wants to receive it fully and a part of you that wants to protect itself from receiving it at all. A part that has been hoping for exactly this, and a part that has organized itself around not hoping, because not hoping was the only way to make the waiting survivable. Both parts are legitimate. Both deserve acknowledgement. And neither one should be allowed to speak for you before you have had the chance to feel what you actually feel underneath the protection, underneath the hope, in the honest and unmanaged place where your actual truth lives. What do you actually want? Not what is safe to want. not what the people around you think you should want, not what the wounded part of you insists you should no longer want, not what the pragmatic part of you has decided is the realistic version of wanting. What do you actually, honestly, in the part of yourself that does not negotiate with other people's comfort or your own self-protection want? Sit with that question before the call comes. Not to arrive at an answer you then perform, but to know your own truth well enough that when the moment arrives, you are not scrambling to locate it in real time, under the pressure of a voice you have not heard in a while, carrying things you were not fully prepared for. Know where you stand before you are asked to stand somewhere. It will change everything about how the conversation unfolds, about the quality of presence you bring to it, about the clarity with which you speak and listen, about the degree to which what happens between you in that call reflects the actual truth of both people rather than the managed performances of two people trying to protect themselves while pretending to be open. Because the other person, the one about to reach for the phone, about to compose the message, about to find the words they have been circling for longer than either of you may realize, they are also navigating this complexity, also arriving at this moment carrying more than one thing simultaneously: the regret and the hope, the fear of rejection and the greater fear of continued silence, the carefully prepared words and the deeper, less articulable truth that the words are trying to carry without quite being equal to the weight of it. They are bringing all of that to you in a single call, in a single moment of courage that costs them more than you will immediately be able to see. Receive the cost of it, especially if what they are offering does not arrive perfectly. Even if the words are slightly wrong, slightly insufficient, slightly unable to fully capture the size of what they are trying to say. The gap between what is felt and what can be spoken is one of the most human gaps there is, and the attempt to bridge it, the willingness to try to speak something that resists being spoken, to hand someone something that language was not designed to carry, deserves to be received with the same generosity that you have consistently extended to people who deserved it considerably less. Soft sigh. You have been generous with your heart throughout this, even in the aftermath of being hurt, even in the period of protecting yourself from further hurt. Some fundamental openness in you has remained not naive, not unguarded in the dangerous sense, but genuinely, stubbornly, beautifully unwilling to close entirely against the possibility of something real. That openness is about to be met, not perfectly, not without the complicated texture that any genuine human encounter carries, but with something that is trying, with whatever means it has available, to be worthy of it. Let yourself find out whether it is not with the suspended judgment of someone who has decided in advance what the verdict will be, with the actual present, fully alive attention of someone who is genuinely listening to the words, to what lives beneath the words, to the specific quality of what is being offered, and whether it carries the weight of something real or the lighter weight of something that is trying to look real. You will know the difference. You have always known the difference. The question has never been whether you could feel it. It has been whether you would trust what you felt. Trust it this time. Whatever it tells you, whether it tells you that what is being offered is genuine and deserves to be received with your whole, open, unhesitating heart, or whether it tells you that the offering, however sincere in its intention, is not yet equal to what you need it to be, and requires more time, more evidence, more demonstrated change before you can receive it fully. Either answer is the right answer if it is the honest one. The only wrong answer is the one you arrive at by overriding what you actually feel in favor of what is simpler or safer or less uncomfortable. The call is coming. The voice is coming. The unexpected thing nested inside the apology is coming, and it is larger than the apology, older than the apology, more significant in what it could mean for the trajectory of your story than any single expression of regret, however genuine, could be on its own. And you standing here in this moment, more clear-eyed and more self-possessed and more genuinely ready than you may currently feel, are going to receive it with everything you are. Not defensively, not recklessly, with the full, grounded, luminous presence of someone who knows their own worth well enough to meet whatever arrives without losing themselves in it, who can be moved without being swept away, who can be open without being unprotected, who can receive something unexpected with the grace of someone who has, through everything, kept the capacity for genuine surprise alive. That capacity is one of the most precious things you possess. Guard it and let it be the quality that meets this moment, open, awake, completely present for whatever truth is about to find its way to you through the phone that is about to ring. It is coming. And so are you. Fully, finally, exactly as you are. If this found you at the right moment tonight, if something here named what you have been quietly carrying and waiting to hear confirmed, stay close, subscribe, and come back. Because the conversation that is approaching is only the beginning of a chapter that deserves to be read all the way through. And the next reading may arrive at exactly the moment you need it most.